Hey there and welcome to English Flow Podcast. I'm Leo, and in this episode I have something special just for you. We're going to build and practice your English through a story. But relax. We're not reading the entire novel. This is a condensed retelling of the story. That means it's brief, clear, and ideal for learning a language. The story you'll hear today is called Treasure Island. My friend and colleague Richard will read it for you slowly and clearly. Here's our plan for today. First, you'll hear the story at a calm pace with simple words, then I'll teach you key vocabulary from the story. I'll explain each word in a straightforward, easy way. And finally, you'll practice shadowing. You can pause, repeat, or even write down what you hear. So get ready. This is Treasure Island told especially for English learners. A long time ago in a quiet seaside village, there was a small inn called the Admiral Bambo. A young boy named Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents. Life at the inn was simple and calm. Only a few travelers stopped there and nothing exciting happened. Until one day everything changed. An old sailor arrived at the inn. He was tall, strong, and rough-looking. He had a deep scar across his face. He didn't speak much, but he always seemed uneasy. Every morning he climbed to the hilltop near the sea with a telescope. He stared out over the water as if he were waiting for someone. He drank too much rum and sang old pirate songs. The songs frightened the other guests. His name was Billy Bones. Billy told Jim to watch out for a sailor with one leg. He paid Jim a silver coin every month to stay alert. Jim didn't know why Billy was so scared, but he understood the sailor was hiding from somebody. One day, a blind man came to the inn. His name was Pew, and he was even more frightening than Billy. He gave Billy something called the black spot, a pirate sign that means danger and death. Billy went very pale and looked terrified. A few minutes later he collapsed and died. His heart simply failed. After Billy's death, Jim and his mother opened Billy's small chest to collect the money he owed them. They found coins from many lands, but they also discovered something even more important, a map. It was a treasure map. It showed where the famous pirate Captain Flint had hidden his gold long ago. Jim took the map to Dr. Livy, a kind and clever doctor, and to Acquire Trelawney, a wealthy landowner. The three of them decided to sail across the sea to look for the treasure, and so their great adventure began. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney hired a ship called the Hispaniola. It was a sturdy, beautiful vessel ready for a long sea journey. They also found a captain to lead the voyage. His name was Captain Smollett. He was very strict, but he was fair and honest too. Jim was allowed to join the crew as a cabin boy. He was thrilled. He had never sailed before, and he felt proud to be part of the adventure. One of the men working on the ship was Long John Silver. He was hired as the cook. He had only one leg and moved with a wooden crutch. But he got around quickly and always wore a cheerful smile. He was clever, friendly, and full of amusing sea tales. He also kept a green parrot on his shoulder that squawked, "Pieces of 8, pieces of 8. At first, everyone liked Silver. He joked with the crew and helped wherever he could. But soon Jim uncovered a terrible secret. One day Jim hid inside a barrel on the ship. While he was hidden, he heard Silver talking with some of the other men. Jim discovered that Silver and many crew members were actually pirates. They had a plan. They would wait until the treasure was found. Then they would seize the ship and keep the treasure for themselves. Jim felt terrified, but he stayed silent and listened to everything. Later, he told Captain Smollett and the other honest men. Now they knew the truth. Many of the crew were dangerous. They had to be cautious and prepared to defend themselves. After many days at sea, the ship finally reached Treasure Island. The island was green, wild, and very quiet. There were trees, hills, rocks, and hidden caves. It looked peaceful, but Jim and his friends knew danger might be close. Some of the crew went ashore right away. Jim went with them, but soon he slipped off alone into the forest. While he walked, he met a strange man named Ben Gunn. Ben had once been a pirate, but his pirate companions had abandoned him on the island. He had lived there for 3 years, eating berries and goats. Ben was a little odd, but he was also kind and friendly. He told Jim a big secret. He had already discovered Captain Flynn's treasure and hidden it safely. Ben said he would help Jim and the others, but only if they promised to take him home after the adventure. While this was happening, things got worse on the island. Long John Silver and the other pirates took control of the ship. They also demanded the treasure map, but Captain Semlet, Dr. Livy, Squire Trelawney, and the other loyal men moved into an old wooden house on the island to stay safe and fight back. Soon the battle between the two groups began. The pirates attacked the old house with guns and swords. They tried to steal the map, but the faithful men were strong, clever, and brave. They defended the house and refused to surrender the treasure. Then Jim did something courageous. He found a small round boat. He used it to slip quietly back to the Hispaniola. There he fought a dangerous pirate and won. He took control of the ship and moved it to a safe spot far from the pirates. Later, Jim returned to the wooden house and told his friends what he had done. Together, they kept fighting the pirates. Silver tried to act friendly again. He switched sides and wanted protection, but Jim and the others no longer trusted him. At last, the pirates used the map and went to the place where they believed the treasure was buried. They dug and dug, but they uncovered nothing. The treasure was gone. They had been fooled. They didn't realize Ben Gunn had already found the treasure and hidden it in a cave. Some pirates gave up. Some ran into the forest and were never seen again. Others were too weak to continue fighting. In the end, the good men had won. They were exhausted, but they were safe, and now they finally knew where the real treasure was. They found gold, silver, jewels and coins from many parts of the world. There was more treasure than they had ever imagined. It was so much that they had to carry it to the ship in many trips. They were ready to leave the island. A few pirates were left behind. Some pirates had died and others had escaped into the forest. Long John Silver was still with them. He had helped them sometimes, but he also lied and tricked them. Then one night, while everyone slept, Silver disappeared. He took one small bag of treasure with him and was never seen again. The ship sailed back to England. Jim and his friends were safe, and now they were rich. But Jim felt changed. He had gone on a great adventure. He had seen danger, greed, and death. He had learned about courage, friendship, and trust. He was no longer just a young boy. He had grown up. Music. Okay, it's Leo here again from English Flow Podcast. Let's go over some of the most useful vocabulary from today's pirate adventure. These words will help you understand stories more easily and sound more natural when you speak. English 2. I'll say the word, explain it simply, give you a real-life example, and then we'll say it together. Shadowing time. Right. Ready? Great. Let's go. The first phrase is by the sea. This means near the ocean or right next to the coast. You could say they built a tiny cabin by the sea. They built a tiny cabin by the sea. Now repeat after me. They lived by the sea. The inn was by the sea. Good job. Now the second word is inn. An inn is a small hotel. Often it's quiet, old, and cozy. Now try this. We stayed at a little inn during our road trip. We stayed at a little inn during our road trip. Great. Now repeat this one. Let's rest at an inn. Now let's look at the word rough. When someone looks rough, it means they look tough or wild, not neat or clean. For example, the sailor looked rough with messy hair and worn-out clothes. Now repeat after me. He looked rough and scary. That man has a rough voice. The fourth word is scar. A scar is a mark on the skin after a cut or injury heals. For example, she has a small scar on her knee from when she fell. Now repeat this one. He has a scar on his face. Good job. Up next we have the word nervous. Nervous means you feel worried or afraid that something bad might happen. Here is an example. I feel nervous before speaking in public. Now repeat this one. Jim looked nervous. And now this one. She felt nervous before the test. Great. The next phrase is watching for someone. This means waiting and looking to see if someone is coming. Here is an example. He stood at the window watching for his friends. Now repeat this one. He was watching for danger. Perfect. The next expression is keep an eye out. This means to watch carefully, to stay alert. Try this. Keep an eye out for your phone. You lose it a lot. Now repeat this one. Keep an eye out for trouble. Good job. Our next word is pale. If someone is pale, their skin looks very white, often from fear or sickness. You might hear, she went pale when she heard the bad news. Now repeat this one. He looked pale. Great job. Now comes the word collapse. To collapse means to fall down suddenly from fear, pain, or being tired. Now repeat this one. He collapsed on the floor. Very good. The next phrase is his heart simply gave out. This means his heart stopped, often because of shock or fear. Now repeat this one. He was so scared his heart simply gave out. Good job. And next we have adventure. An adventure is a fun and exciting journey, sometimes dangerous. Use it like this. Climbing the mountain was a big adventure. Now repeat this one. That was a great adventure. Very good. The next word is voyage. Voyage is a long trip by ship. For example, the voyage took many weeks. Now repeat this one. We went on a long voyage. Perfect. The next word is strict. Strict means someone who follows rules exactly and expects others to do the same. Try this. Our teacher is very strict but fair. Now we have the phrase take over the ship. This means to gain control of the ship, often by force like pirates. For example, the pirates tried to take over the ship. And here's another one. Right away. Right away means immediately, without waiting. Use it like this. Come here right away. Come here right away. And here's the final one. Walked off. To walk off means to leave a place, often quietly or without saying anything. For example, he didn't answer. He just walked off. Now repeat this one. Jim walked off into the forest. Good job. And there you have it. Your vocabulary adventure is complete. This is how your English grows stronger step by step. And hey, you don't have to do it alone. We're here to help you every episode. I'm Leo, and this is English Flow Podcast. Bye for now.